You know, I really do hate when women talk about this topic because, I don't know, they're just not sentient beings that, you know, are conscious enough to realize that they're the problem in this situation, and they just think everything's a fucking game. Look at this big smile on their face. So let's just hop into this. Here we go, up and out. Gen Z, you know, people like me, you know, giving up on sex and relationships. So let's get into it.
It turns out that, thanks to Anna pointing this out to me, that there is strong emerging evidence Gen Z is indeed less sexually active, dating less compared to previous generations.
Yes.
What's going on, guys?
So many things.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. But first, let me set it up and give you the deets. Okay, what's going on? So
can we go past the? Can we go over?
We can if you can, Doc.
Yeah, I can go over. Yeah.
So there have now been multiple studies indicating that young men. I'm talking about the ages
can we
when
do
they're
it
like
point by point as you're bringing these things up. Can I address them as you bring them up?
Sure.
So each of these things have layers to them.
They
So
do.
Young
So
men.
I'm going to give you
first. Let's talk about them.
We're going to talk about young men first, and this has to do with their sexual activity.
Yes.
So
you need to find young so we can.
Yes, I am.
Good point.
So let me do it uninterrupted so I can get it out.
Beg your pardon.
So Indiana University, for instance, did a study, and they found in their study of men between the ages of 18 to 24. So we're talking about the time when they like really want to get it on, usually, right?
Yes.
Only one in 3 of them reported no sexual activity in the past year. 1 in 3.
Yeah.
So 1/3 of young men in that age group, no sex at all.
Yeah.
And I want to know why.
What's the comparison point? Like what happened 20 years ago?
What was the
Yeah, 20 years ago, what was the rate?
I don't know the comparison
rate.
rate.
I promise you it was higher 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior, the study is the first to include such a comprehensive assessment of diverse sexual behaviors. The information came from U.S. participants ages 14 to 49 during 2009.
14 to 49.
Yeah.
2009?
No, between 2009 and 2018. So this is a long-term study that they did.
So, and by the way, it's worse since COVID.
Yes.
COVID
Okay.
made it
Oh
worse.
yeah, completely.
Yes. So there have been other studies showing that this was even more pronounced after COVID.
What's the mechanism there?
Really, before you go,
Many.
Doctor, can I just say one quick thing?
Please.
I
Why is it
blame
all-
feminism.
Okay, at least someone's being accountable. But why is there all women on the damn panel? And this fruity looking nigga on the panel? Why is it always that? Anyways, actually, it's crazy that study was from 2009 to 2018 because, shit, in my mind, at least in my life before, like, really, like, around 2016 and 2018 was, like, the peak of fucking life, at least in that regard of, like, partying and having sex and banging chicks. So, interesting that it was even like that back then where people weren't getting on. I thought everyone was getting on back then. I thought this was kind of like a new phenomenon, but guess not.
Listen, Tinder just put out a height filter. What I can say about this
Girl,
dating
that is
market
not feminism.
is
Women hating on the short kings is not
but
feminism.
women believing that they should.
You can't even fucking say it right, bro. Just shut the hell up. It's not feminism, but at the end of the day, you know damn well it is feminism with that fake ass smile. I want to rip them earrings right out your damn ears without taking the fucking back piece off. Take a chunk out your earlobes.
Be empowered enough that they can create their own custom-built men, that they deserve everything, don't need to work for anything, whereas men, they need to build up their income, their body, their physique, their personal development. Apparently, that's the one thing they can't build up, right? This dating market is totally rigged for women, and I think that's why guys aren't getting laid.
But Benny Johnson said this to me, and then I'm going to stop talking because I definitely want to hear from Dr. Drew, but he's like, the world was a better place when men had a harder time seeing boobs, and I kind of wonder.
Okay,
anyway, go.
My bad.
That's another layer to it.
Shut the hell up, lady. I mean, yeah, that is a part of it too, because at the end of the day, they're like, why deal with all this bullshit? Why have to fucking put myself in a kind of submissive position, because at the end of the day, you know, these chicks are the ones that choose. Why do I have to put myself in a submissive position, be a fucking circus clown, and fucking be just fucking Boo Boo the Fool and JoJo the Monkey just to fucking try to impress a girl to potentially get laid, which at the end of the day, I can just kind of, you know, type a little bit, and then I can see the bitch is way better than any chick that I could ever possibly fuck in real life. That's what people. That's the mentality.
Okay.
Too much porn.
So let me
that is my question.
Let me quickly clarify the study, okay? Because it wasn't a long-term study. My bad, I misread this. So they did the study in 2009, and then they did the same study in 2018. Yes. So to compare. And this is what they write. So they say compared to adult participants in the 2009 survey, adults in the 2018 group were significantly more likely to report no penile vaginal intercourse in the prior year, the researchers found. Study participants were also significantly less likely to report engaging in any other sexual behaviors, such as oral sex or, other things.
Anything. Yeah.
All modes of past year partnered sex were reported by fewer in the 2018 cohort. So it is a growing problem.
Oh, yeah. And so we know birth rates are plummeting, right?
Right.
So
2018 was probably the time I had the most I probably got the most play, if I'm going to keep it a bean.
Not forming pairs, they're not falling in love, they're not having sexual encounters. There's some data that shows that the apps are leaving a 5 or 10% zone of men that are having lots of sex, and they're the ones that
Super
are
users.
super users, and they're actually hurting people. They're hurting women. And women I hear a lot from women, where are the men? Where are all the
There's
men?
a term for that.
There's
They're
no
called
men.
fuckboys.
Well, you
Literally,
have vilified being a man. You have vilified it. I have been around the Gen Z and the millennials for quite some time. And what I saw was men fearful of being seen as toxic or trying to rape. They were just...
Man, fuck all that shit, bro. Just be a fucking man, bro. Man, let your nets fucking drag. At the end of the day, niggas is gonna judge you anyway, one way or another, bro. So at the end of the day, be a man. If they a bitch, they a bitch. And that goes to guys, too. If they can't handle it, they some bitches. So at the end of the day, be a fucking man. Be you. Don't give a fuck about what one of these people do. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. And at the end of the day, watch people still respect you. Even if they don't like you, they'll still respect you.
They just withdrew. And if you, God help you, if you offer a girl a beer,
I'll take the beer.
I would too.
I'm a married
I have a friend
woman.
that got kicked out of 2 bars in New York for buying women
Stupid.
drink. 2 different
I
bars.
don't like that
Are you
shit.
serious?
It's considered predatory.
Wow.
So men are scared shitless. They don't know what to do. Then because they're withdrawing so much, they first of all don't feel worth.
I'm not gonna lie, these chicks are fucking weird though, bro. They're just weird, nigga. They just, one, don't know what the hell they want, and they never will. And 2, like, how can you villainize a nigga for just being fucking him, like being who he's supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? And man, most of the chicks that be doing this weird shit too aren't even attractive, bro. Like, just keep that a buck. Just peep. Most of these feminism chicks and these chicks that are on this weird type of time, they're usually not very attractive. Just peep that.
They're not worthwhile. They're particularly young white men are told they're bad, they're evil, they're the source of all problems, and they don't develop the skills necessary to
communicate.
date, to
Oh, that's so
communicate,
sad.
to determine what they want to do, and they turn to porn.
I was gonna ask you
and
that.
the porn gives
Yeah.
them unrealistic expectations about
course.
everything,
Oh, yeah.
and they sort of take the position like, I'm fine, I got my porn, I'm fine. And for the first time, I did a show called After Dark for a few years over at your mom's house, and I started hearing about, from young men, something I had not heard all these decades talking to young men, the use of prostitutes. They were starting to turn to prostitutes because they had no other option.
Do
And
you
not only
think
that, but OnlyFans, because OnlyFans, especially in today.
Look how fucking excited they are. They kind of just seem like excited about the struggles of men. They're like, wow, I never would ever have to go through that because I have a vagina. Like, I mean, obviously, even ugly chicks, bro, get played, bro.
This generation, young women are literally getting excited to turn 18 so they can create an
my
OnlyFans
God.
because
that breaks my
they are
heart.
seeing
Yeah.
other women out there portray this lifestyle, and you know why they're oftentimes portraying it? Because there are affiliate programs attached to OnlyFans.
It's hilarious too because like you're really gonna be taking off all your clothes and really just stripping yourself of your soul for $10 a month, and a lot of these, and most don't even make it. Like only like 1% of the content creators are really making big money. Like there's only a few Sophie Reigns type shit, bro.
Or if you recruit other women, you make a
like a
buck
pyramid scheme.
off of
No,
what
that's
they make.
terrible.
It's a pyramid scheme for
Where are
sex.
the parents?
But this is the
are the
prostitution
parents? I have the
aspect
answer
is becoming
to
more
that
and more
question.
normalized. And it's not just that. They're not only buying these women's pictures, but then their managers are messaging them, building parasocial relationships with these men.
The parasocial relationship thing is
sick.
huge.
Very
It's
damaging.
sick.
So, Dr. Drew, one last question, because I hear you in regard to culture and how that's changed and how that impacts, relationships in America. I am also curious about the impact of social media and how increasingly people aren't actually meeting with their friends in real life, communicating
all of it.
face to face. So when you don't
100%.
have that, there's like a difficulty in communicating when you're trying to, seduce someone into
All
a
of it
relationship.
speaks of no experience, no skill.
Right.
I remember back in the 90s, I used to be, the hookup culture was the big thing. And I kept saying, that's not, you're not happy doing this, I can tell, because you're always drunk when you do it. And I was advocating dating, where you just sit down, enjoy time with somebody, learn who you are, learn who to break bread, whatever. Don't have all these expectations on every time you go out with somebody. That needs to come back again. That people need to hang out in person, in flesh with people a lot, and just enjoy that. And develop a skill and start to figure out who you are, what you want, and who other people are. But this vilification of the young male has gone out of control, and they're pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm worried when they come out of it that they're going to
I have a confession.
Adam said
like
the same thing.
A big confession. Okay, so look, every woman is different. So I don't speak for all women.
You don't?
I
Why
don't.
not?
But I also have a problem with like some women, you know, who have engaged in that, you know, rhetoric in regard to men, kind of speaking on my behalf, because I'll just talk about my preference. My preference is masculine men, like traditionally masculine men. That's what I'm just attracted to. I can't explain why. It just is what it is. So this like push to make men meek is unfair to women who don't want meek men either.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best point she's fucking said this whole time. That's the best words that came out of this chick's mouth. I mean, bro, that's weird, bro. Like, and let's keep it a bean, man. Most chicks want a fucking masculine guy. They don't want no bitch ass nigga. But the only reason they would is primarily for control reasons. And that is the way things are going and headed, is that, you know, look, how I see it in 2025, if you can't be manipulated and used as a man, like, you're deemed worthless to these chicks. Let me repeat. How I see it in 2025 is if you can't be used and abused, okay, not even really say that because that sounds stupid, but if you can't be used and manipulated and, you know, be a walking doormat for a chick in 2025, she's of no use to you. Because here's the thing, if you're a traditionally masculine man and you're actually successful, she has to bring something to the table and actually have standards, and you kind of have the power in the relationship. All it is about control. That's all like the chicks want. They want control, and they'll do anything to fucking get it. And if they feel like that you're someone that they can't control, they'll disqualify themselves, or, you know, maybe, you know, sleep around a little bit or whatnot, and then find a guy they can control. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. What you think that's kind of cap or what? How do you guys feel about that take?
I truly want that,
Very
Dr.
few
Drew.
people
In fact,
want
from
that.
an evolutionary perspective,
Doesn't
the
make
masculine
sense.
guy
Right.
thing, I remember
Like if I'm on a train or if
So-
I'm on the metro and there's someone who's threatening my safety and there's a bunch of men there and they just kind of sit back and let it happen, that's a freaking problem in society.
The thing is,
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, niggas don't have it. See, now she's going back into that all about her type shit. Motherfuckers don't have to save you. They could be masculine and still not want to save your ass, bro. You know, because it's none of their business, bro. End of the day, a lot of these chicks be talking and moving, bro. Like, shit. I don't know. To be quite honest, bro, and I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't know if I'd save a chick if I seen her in some distress. It's just like, it's not my problem. Not my problem. So
there's a huge demographic, to your point, who does celebrate wife guys, right? Like, remember how they elevated Doug Emhoff because he was all feminine and happy to be behind Kamala Harris? Do you remember that?
Well, they do it for women
no one's
too,
hot for
though.
Doug Emhoff,
they
though,
have
What I
in real
mean
life.
is, that's the kind of man
That's a
the one-
psyop, Doug Emhoff.
I mean, look
No
at
one is hot for Doug Emhoff.
That's not what I'm saying. Is that's what they're celebrating as the archetype. And Dr. Drew, since you're here, I want to bring a medical component into this.
Okay.
men that they are attracted
Or-
to. They are attracted to
Yep.
more beta,
Or it
feminine
drops their
males.
sex
Tell
drive.
me how to fix this finasteride problem. I need to know.
Hair transplants. Get off the finasteride.
No, but what if they're against
TRT.
it? Trust me, I've gone
You
down this
can't
whole...
do the TRT because then they go bald. You see, if they have a problem, then you do TRT,
I've
but they will
asked-
go further bald.
I've
So
researched this extensively, and one solution that was presented was topical finasteride.
Yeah,
but
so-
what
so-
if they have hair currently?
So the high dose Rogaine with finasteride and a steroid is a very effective topical agent. Some of of it is absorbed still. And so, but that is an alternative.
But you have a bigger problem with crashing testosterone, and we
Yes.
don't know why.
Well,
and
it's all the above, plus obesity,
Obesity's a
testosterone
problem, yeah.
down, estrogen up.
Yep.
You know, there's so many reasons our testosterone levels are down. We need to get back. Resistance training needs to be a part of our daily life.
Yep.
Everybody. And it's just, we are unhealthy.
Sleep,
Dr.
stress,
You're
weight
referring
management,
to-
lower body training, boosts
You
testosterone
and I would agree
naturally.
100% on this.
This is music to my ears. I love it. Thank you. Please.
But I have one more big sweeping thing I want to
Yes,
say. But
tell
before
us.
I finish, you finish the
You're
thought about
referring to
finasteride.
post-finasteride syndrome, correct?
Yes.
And you're saying it's incurable, so basically their libido is gone forever.
That's
some
what
people.
that, in
He
a
said in
small,
some.
in a limited
that
percentage.
20% you're saying there's nothing that can
that's
be
what
done.
that's what some data came out with about 10 years ago.
That's
yes.
devastating news. Like for humanity, the
Yeah, I
fact that
know.
millions of men are on it.
No, you can put that person on testosterone and other things and override it, but then they'll go further bald.
Oh, God.
And so,
Wow.
But,
so
but
it's-
basically, these men are. Let me be clear what's happening here. These American men, and they're choosing their hair over sex, is what they're choosing.
the ones that stayed on Propecia in my practice,
All right, enough of this.
and a very close relative of borderline is hysterical, the histrionic personality. And I was listening to Michael Schallenberger talk to a astrophysicist.
Infected with
They
something.
claim to be caring and they
Yes.
actually have huge rage that's disavowed, and they have to put it out there.
Jeez,
And
Doc.
so-
And
it's
it's kind of
so
egged on by the
scary.
hysteria in the media,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
The simple
They're
narratives.
fueling it.
Did you see the study about
They're
how
probably
I think
also
like
borderline, yeah.
20% of liberal women have some sort of mental disorder?
It's higher
I
than
would
that.
not. Oh, there you go.
Over 50.
They seem like it. I'm
Insane.
sorry, but it's like also you're looking at an individual who has a certain aesthetic, and you're like, okay, well, what does it take to let yourself gain 100 pounds, shave your head, or dye it blue, pierce
Depression.
your septum? Like,
Bro, like, yeah, those are just the biggest red flags. Is the blue hair, fucking pure septums, all that shit. Yeah, I'm good on all that, bro. That's just asking for crazy.
goes on for you emotionally, and that there is definitely a demographic that fits a certain.
And their
Very
childhood.
few brown people, by the way. Very few black people at these things. Didn't see one Asian, but I saw a lot of
You're
white
never gonna see an
liberals.
Asian there, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Screaming.
Okay, can I just
Oh,
weigh
I'm
in on that
sorry.
very, very briefly? Because there was that video that went viral featuring two white people in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Oh, blocking the black woman?
Yes, and this
Yeah.
poor black woman,
know.
she's like, I'm just trying to get to work, please. Like, she's like begging them.
terrifying.
And they're like shouting her down,
Yes.
basically telling her this protest and what we're protesting about is more important than your job.
We know
oh,
better
you have to
than
go to
you.
work. And it made me so angry
They
because
don't really care.
they
No,
don't
they
really
don't.
care. What they care more about is like
Discharging their emotion.
discharging their emotion, showing everyone their virtue,
Virtue signaling,
right? But it's
yeah.
like,
Which is
let this
narcissism.
poor woman go,
True.
okay?
You know he made 115 grand, that same guy, off of a BLM protest lawsuit. He was at BLM
Don't
sued
get me
somebody,
started with
got
that.
115 G's in a settlement. But he doesn't really care about black lives when there's a black
absolutely
mom
not.
saying, what about my kids? How do I pay
Yeah.
my hair?
listen.
I'm
Like
like,
mental
you need to
No, no,
lose
no,
100
no,
pounds.
no.
All right, they're not talking about shit no more. The video really ended a long time ago. So let's see what these comments talking about. The women talking over the male doctor about medical topics demonstrates the problem. Yeah, I mean, them motherfuckers just kept yapping over each other. That shit was kind of annoying. These women pretend to give a shit. It's actually funny. They couldn't care less about the men. It's just a hot topic. I already saw through that, bro. They didn't care, bro. We constantly hear that women don't need men. All I'm hearing is everything men do equals bad. Women equals perfect. Yeah, go figure. When I was at the gym, I asked the trainer, what is the best machine to use if I want to attract a woman? He pointed to the ATM. Ah, shit. My son is 15 and him and his friends have no interest in chasing girls. So why is it always like, why you gotta always be chasing them, man? That's how you know, like, the shit's fucked up and rigged from the jump, man. Excuse me, like, why the fuck is it always that term, like, chasing? Like, why is it that they make it so you gotta chase them like they, because at the end of the day, bro, like, let's just keep it P for 1 second. Let's just keep it P for 1 second. If women were truly the prize, then why would they date up? If women were the prize, then why is hypergamy real? So with that logic, considering that a man in a lot of relationships, in hypergamous relationships, which is most relationships, would provide more value to the relationship than a woman, how the hell on earth is a woman the prize, and why the hell would a nigga be chasing them? You know, that just never made sense to me, you know? It's just a little backwards, don't you think? A bachelor is a selfish, undeserving guy who has cheated some woman out of a divorce. I love it. This is painful to watch minute to 4 minutes. Yeah. 70%. Damn. My friends are divorced. These Gen Z kids are better off single. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the main reason, bro. Like, Gen Z kids just seeing their parents fucking go through, do what they do. And there's just all this information online now to really much tell you, like, literally waving red flags like, yo, do not get married. Like, psh. Wow. Yeah, I mean, like, chicks who are like 6 foot fucking 5 guys, bro, like, you know how fucking rare them motherfuckers are, bro. Let's just even go to the ChatGPT, like, how. Not even a fucking percent. 1 in 500, almost 1 in 1,000 men. A dude who is 6'5" is taller than 99% of the population. You see how ridiculous these motherfuckers are? Like, it's just like. But they think but they think they're 6'5" guys that's out there coming a dime a dozen. So yeah, being 6 foot's not that rare. 1 in 7. Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking rare. 1 in 7 people. I mean, 1 in 7, 1 in 500. Yeah, that's a fucking big difference. So I'm not gonna lie, that is a very big difference. Well. I mean, if I honestly had to, I guess, put it all into one thing, it's pretty much just outrageous expectations. And men see the writing on the wall, and at the end of the day, most men chalk it up to they're not good enough, so that's why they're just done playing the rig game. So it's really not even complicated. But peace.